So everybody wants to go back to analog, right? Everybody wants to go back to having tangible physical goods and living in the real world and touching grass and going outside and going
the
to
80s and
malls
90s. Now it was the 80s and now I think it's heading into the 90s now. But they have a guy with cassettes, which would be more the 80s and early 90s maybe. But then they went to CDs.
Yeah, we'll talk about this because I also have an article pulled up about vinyl sales surpassing $1 billion in 2025 for the first time since 1983.
I've been telling you. Oh, our son has like a whole list of records he has and a bunch more he wants.
People are tired of the artificiality of the internet, whether it's social media or, not owning your goods, your games, your music, having real friends. So it's so weird. We're really
real friends.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
you just said that and they're like, owning your own music, and like having real friends.
Well, okay, because online acquaintances.
You can have real friends online too, though.
Yeah, but sometimes they're not themselves, right?
That's true. But I'm just the way you said that was just so funny. They
especially
have
now with
friends. Losers.
Especially now with AI filters, you think you're talking to one person, it turns out it's like.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Just the way you said it though, it was like you're losers.
All right. Well, no, I'm just saying it's very different. Like in our case, being Gen X or Zennials, whatever. I guess we're like in between millennials and Gen X, but like we met our friends in real life. And then if we wanted to play games with them or talk to them on the internet, a lot of times we did that after we met them in real life.
Well, to be honest, when we were kids, you didn't go home and talk on the internet for the most part. I mean,
phone.
It was there.
Party lines.
People didn't have. We didn't do party.
You didn't do party lines?
No, I thought that was like before our time even.
No,
they had the online or the psychics, dial the psychics. I remember that.
No, you could do a party line where you'd have like 4 or 5 people talking.
Oh, that
sometimes.
Yeah,
you'd all
sometimes
call in the same number. Yeah,
I didn't do that. No, but you had like the psychic hotlines and the different ones you could call, and you could talk to a hot woman for $12 an hour or whatever. Not even that long. A minute. Sorry.
$12 a minute. Yeah. Now that hot woman is some like 50-year-old dude.
She wasn't a hot woman then either. 10 to 1. Just,
no, she wasn't. Did you ever see that Aerosmith video? The Aerosmith
yeah, that's what it was like. Yes, it was a joke then.
Yeah.
It was a joke then. But,
so let's talk about life in meat space. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we lived through the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and yes, somehow we made it into the 2020s. And people got a whole lot faker as time went on. And I think people want to go back to being, human. I think people want to go back to being human.
I thought you were going to say they got a whole lot fatter, which is also true.
We've also gotten a whole lot fatter.
They're not outside; they're in their chairs on the computer screens.
Right. So this is kind of like the anti-Wall-E. So I'm kind of glad to see it. My Journal Courier has an article called "Influencers Want to Adopt the Analog Lifestyle for 2026. Here's how to join them."
Well, first of all, if you're watching an influencer, isn't that kind of contrary? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're watching an influencer to have an analog lifestyle, it means you're still using
on your phone
stuff to watch.
I'm gonna watch this influencer go outside and touch grass from inside my house.
That's fun.
So this is Sally Tan, an influencer in California, said people are craving something real again and vowed to print her photos, read more books and magazines, and take up hobbies that don't need Wi-Fi.
Thing is, a lot of people that are craving something real again probably never had something real to begin with, because a lot of this iPad generation. They grew up with this, you know what I mean? They didn't have... No, our kids had access to all those things because we had them. And I guess in some cases that could be the case, but I don't think that's the case for everyone.
Well, there's a whole phenomenon going on now where we have a generation of people, and I don't know if it's because of TV shows, because people are watching a lot of reruns of old shows, but even like our kids, I was talking to our daughter, and I was trying to explain to her, like, no, you don't understand. We used to have more stores than Walmart. Like we used to have tons and tons and tons of different retailers, and everyone was a little bit different.
Well, you couldn't go to Amazon, so
right. There was no Amazon. If you wanted clothes, you had to go to the mall or go to the store, whatever, and you had to try them on. And nobody was shipping stuff to your house. I remember the very first thing I ordered online was, oh my God, this would have been like 1990, 92 on Prodigy. I ordered Double Dragon 2 for PC. It was weird because I wasn't sure if it was like legit or not, but I'm like, I think you can order games online and they mail them to your house. That's a weird thing. I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. I'm going to order a game and have it mailed to my house. And I
I think
did.
I was a little bit later than that. I think mine was purchases on eBay, and that was back when eBay first was able to go public. It wasn't just privated, and you didn't have pictures because a lot of people
Oh,
didn't have
yeah. I
digital
just had to guess.
cameras.
They'd describe it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, but it worked out okay.
And they mailed it to your house.
They
It
did. They
just
mailed it to
came to
my
your
house.
house like magic. And now people are like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to sit home all day and just have shit delivered to me. It's like, no, let's not do that. But yeah, more and more Gen Z especially are just like, hey, let's go back to the way things used to be. And I think they're watching movie clips and they're watching TV shows, and everybody's like going to
Yeah,
the
because a
mall
lot
and
of them
hanging
don't
out.
personally remember it. They just
No,
want, but
no.
they see it, and that's why. Like, it's funny. Every time I go to the store, I'm looking at stuff for clothes. And it was just today. I was at TJ Maxx, and they're like, I'm like, that was from the '90s, and that's from the '90s. Oh my gosh, I think my sister had that exact outfit and stuff. And the one lady on my way out, she was telling her kid, there's somebody with her. She goes, before I had kids, way back when, I had a polka dot dress just like that. I looked at it, and I'm like, yeah, that was the '90s, and then I kept walking out. It's funny to me.
It's really weird though, because I was trying to find some footage of the mall I used to hang out at all the time when I was a kid, and there's so much AI slop, like nostalgia slop now. That's this really bizarro. Like they have like, oh, here's '80s kids in their living room watching their TV. I'm like, this is wrong. Like that's wrong and that's wrong. It's very weird to watch.
It's like a museum exhibit. Here's '80s kids in their natural habitat.
Pretty much, yeah, but it's wrong. So all these kids, so there must be a demand for it. There must be a bunch of people looking up, like, I want to see what it was like being
Well,
an
clearly
80s
they
kid.
weren't there because
No.
they know it was wrong. But
I don't think they were in America. I think they have slop factories overseas that's churning this stuff out, and it was just like, wow, this is really bad, But they're getting like hundreds of thousands of views. It's just like, here's what typical Americans looked like in the 1980s, walking around in the shopping mall Galleria place where they have stores in Orange Julius, and it just was wrong.
Julius is everywhere.
It was like AI narration and everything. It was, yeah.
I never got Orange Julius because my parents were like, we're not buying Orange Julius for 3 kids because it's expensive. But that's okay because they took us to Hills and let us buy toys instead, which was
I
much
got all
better.
the Orange Julius I want because my mom worked at the mall and she knew the lady that was the manager, and I was cute. So I got all the Orange Julius I wanted.
I mean, yeah, well, I got toys, so yeah.
Yeah, well, there
Anyway.
you go. There you go.
So I win. Anyway, so they're talking about how they want to go back to that. They're talking about how everybody's online all the time and you're at work and stuff and you're online constantly and they want to have some escape from work. And I highly recommend this for your own mental health, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Definitely go for a walk. Go outside. Look at the stars at
Go
night.
outside.
And if you really want to have technology integrated, there are apps that will actually come up on your phone or your iPad that will show you what constellations are what and where satellites are and things like that that you can interact with while you're outside. They have, all kinds of things you can do. Go to the park. You don't have to, you can read a book. You don't have to sit on your computer. And I think, especially given how polarizing everything is in the world, and social media is no better because they deliberately try to get you to engage with things, and everybody's angry at each other for stupid stuff, and they can't understand that people can disagree with you and it's okay. You need to take a breath, and you need to understand that, they don't agree with you, and who cares? You don't know them. That's all right.
Well, that's,
I'm going to go walk. I'm
yeah,
going to go read a book.
that's how it used to be. It used to be people that you disagreed with, like it was like no big deal, whatever. You didn't interact with these people. I think social media, the problem we're having with social media is you are being thrown in front of people that you normally would have never interacted with, and some of
Or
them
fake people that are just there to try to be the worst case scenario of what things are to try to get you to react.
engagement pays. So that's what this whole thing's about. So engagement pays, so they try to get you worked up about stuff, but it really is, it does feel more and more. I mean, even going back, like I've been posting on Twitter for the last couple of weeks now because I thought, well, I'll start publishing stuff over there and posting videos and stuff, and I didn't want to get sucked into any of the battles, and so far I haven't really gotten into it too much, but I'm like, you spend too much time on it, it makes you miserable. It really does. It's like a misery machine.
You need to be with people in real life, and not everybody can, and that's I get that. It's hard to make friends sometimes. I always had trouble, and that was then, because I'm weird. But you need to be outside. One thing I have noticed the last couple of years made me very happy is there's a pickleball court down the street, and they have put a bunch of money into it. And it's a tennis and pickleball court. It's big, and they put a bunch of money into it and everything else. But every time I go by on nice days, you're seeing groups of older people, and a lot of the high school kids are over there
A
playing.
lot of kids, yeah.
Are playing pickleball, and there's a basketball there too and stuff. And I think it's really cool because you get to see that people are coming out there and they're all different ages and they're all out there having fun together. And sometimes, they're not the same group, but you'll see them interacting. And I think it's great because you're not at home on your phone. You're out there with people, even if you don't know them that well, having fun or just meeting people you don't know. People are like listening to music now and they're buying cassettes and CDs and things like that instead of just going into their Spotify playlist all the time, even though Spotify is fine too, as long as you're like out there doing something else. And when we were kids, when we get bored, you're like, well, entertain yourself. And now our kids were always like, I'm bored. You'll entertain me. And it's like, people need to learn to entertain yourself in ways that aren't involving the internet.
Well, yeah, you want to see, okay, so you want to see how things have devolved, right? According to Pew Research Center data released in 2025, an estimated 91% of U.S. adults have a smartphone, up from only 35% in 2011. So 3 times as many people glued to their screen, and you can't get away from it. It's not like, oh, I wasn't near my phone. No, because your phone's on you all the fucking time, and you need it to do anything now. You need it
in our family, I'm the one who's not on my phone. Or if you're trying to get a hold of me, I never have my phone on me. My ringer's always off. You'll never get a hold of me on my phone because I'm not usually carrying it. It's usually my purse or someplace else. But, and there's nothing wrong with having a phone. There's nothing wrong with having that. The problem is, like, you can still go for a walk and listen to music on your phone, but you're still outside and you're still doing something different. You could read, ebooks on your devices and still get the experience of reading a book and taking a break from social media. There's positive aspects that you can do involving the internet and like having a phone that don't require you to be engaged in things that make you upset.
Yeah, so this is what happened was they were trying to get people to disconnect. They're basically like, just get off your phone, and then people are like, well, then what? And they said what they're trying to get them to do is replace phone time with another activity that they enjoy. And they're like, the analog trend's different because they want you to embrace old technology and spend time on crafting projects.
Oh, that's always a good one.
Yeah, experts say people are trying to be entertained or relax in ways that don't involve being online. Actually, I think it's the opposite. I think people start out like, oh, I'm going to go on the internet and look at funny cat videos. I got some time to kill. I'm going to talk to my friends, whatever. And it started out fun, and now it's monetized outrage and anxiety and anger. And
unless you like, keep picking fun videos, and they'll keep recommending fun videos to you.
Well, that's true. But then, you get sucked into it, right?
Then you get sucked into Facebook videos, and it's like 2 hours later and you're looking at one post and it's like, wait, where'd time go? Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything.
Well, the whole thing is about creating boundaries, right? Because it used to be like you go work, you look at the screen all day, whatever, you go home, you go to school, you're reading the books all day, you're looking at the screens probably, you go home, you're done, you do what you want to do, right? Now it's like it never ends. Even work or school or, toxic social media, whatever, it never ends. It's like following you around constantly, and it's not healthy. The reason that we're all so angry and depressed and sad and screaming at each other and whatever is because we're really being put in I think an unnatural state for us. Like, we're social animals, but
people are getting more social engagement online because they may be really shy in person, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the social engagement online can go toxic very quickly.
Yes. And some people just aren't prepared. I was reading the other day, the one kid, I forget, the one kid from Target that they took his picture and he went viral or whatever. He doesn't even have a phone now, I guess. He's so fed up with social media because they were like stalking him and everything else. And he's like,
What
I don't
kid
even
from
want to.
Target?
Don't you remember it was like Andy from Target or something like that? It was a viral thing like 10 or 15 years ago. Some kid.
No, I don't remember. But like I said, I don't pay attention to that like as much as other people do.
But he's like, I don't even have a phone now because he's like, I don't even want to be online.
I don't recommend
not
having a phone because I think it's very valuable for other reasons, and if people need it's an emergency or whatever. But I just think that you can use it in a positive way or a way that makes you miserable. And that's just it. Like, they're turning to things. They want more authenticity, and that's what they're saying. They want authenticity about stuff. And yeah, they were all watching the the love story show.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that they're because they for nostalgic for life they never knew because they can see a home video and stuff of what it was like. Now for us that was I remember when all this went down. I remember when the plane crashed and all that.
I'm just sitting there thinking like it's on a CRT TV. And
he's been trying to get a CRT.
Well, no, there's several that come up around here that I just have to go get them. I'm trying to think where to put the damn thing. But
he's been itching to get one.
Yeah, well, what gets me though is you have all these kids, these retro gamer kids that were not around when CRTs were the norm, and they're all like, because the so-and-so online says you have to play your retro video games through a CRT and da-da-da. And it's like, it's such a superior experience because so-and-so, like acting like they know what they're talking about. It's like, bitch, look, here's the thing. If you've got the top-of-line Sony Trinitron, yeah, it's a great experience, right? To play your Super Nintendo or your PlayStation on that. If you got what most of us had, which was like a Kmart TV, no. You're not missing much at all. I'm just saying.
You see these videos, these kids having a hissy and throwing their controller into the TV and stuff. You start messing with that thing, it'll crush you. These things
That's why we got rid of the last
a metric ton.
Yeah, we had a big CRTV and we got rid of it when our daughter was little because I was afraid she was going to pull it down on herself. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we'll get rid of this thing. It was nice, but yeah, I think we had a Super Nintendo we had an N64 hooked up to it. And I'm like, it was big. It was like 30 inches, 32 inches or something.
I don't know. All I'm saying is like, the quality of the TV mattered and the way the TV and the practicality of the TV is to me, it seems like a waste of time to go find one, but you can get one if you want one.
Well, they're talking about, they're watching Friends. Now, okay, Friends is not a good example. Like, oh yeah, wow. Did you know that back in the 90s, a couple of broke-ass girls could afford a $10,000 a month apartment, working at she worked retail or work at the coffee shop
and then wasn't like a chef or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
And it's like, and the other one just sang songs about cats or whatever jobs she could find. Yeah, no, that was never realistic, honestly. But
the way things are going now, people are going to be like, they're going to be like, hey, were there no black people in New York in the 1990s? That's the whole conversation they're having now. It's like, yeah, it's a little,
But that's not actually true because in the 1990s, like there was all kinds of shows and movies and stuff.
That is true.
It was very
they weren't
diverse.
on Friends,
They weren't on Friends, but they were very diverse back then. And like no one thought anything of it. Like I say it all the time and I mean it. It's like no one, some of the most popular TV shows around everybody watched and they weren't all white. And you go to the movies like, hey, did you go see the new whatever movie with like, Denzel Washington or, Wesley Snipes or Will Smith or whatever. Halle Berry was very popular then too.
So for Catwoman. We don't talk about Catwoman.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like no one thought a damn thing about it. Like who cares? You didn't
No, that's been a pretty recent thing because a lot of the biggest movies back then. But it was weird. I was watching yesterday a clip of the Jeffersons came up. Damn, that show was spicy, and it came out in the 70s. And there was a whole thing. It was Lionel, which is George Jefferson's kid. I don't know if it was maybe it was on All in the Family. It was either All in the Family or Jefferson. They were in the same universe, right? And so they're at this party, and he's introducing his fiance's dad to George Jefferson, and fiance's dad is white. And George is like, oh, hell no, you're not marrying some half-breed, whatever. So, oh, man. And he was like, they dropped the N-word, the N-slur in it. And I'm like, it's like 1975. Yeah.
The people nowadays are so
pussies.
Uptight. Yeah, that was going to say pussies. I actually was going to say that, but they're so uptight about everything. And they keep oh my God, thank God we invented diversity inclusion. And by doing so, we sanitized everything that was fun in the world ever. And you did nothing but regress everything back to decades ago when it was miserable and unfun. So good job there. But they're all talking about this. And one of the things that were in this thing that I thought was interesting was the last paragraph. They said a lot of young people are saying the future we want is a future where technology is present and continues to make our lives easier, but where we are more present, where we're not just passively staring at screens, where we're actually engaging in the world. So it seems to me that Gen Z is more motivated to not reverse digital technology, but to build a future in which the technology takes a back seat. And honestly, I think that's what we need. Because you have all these AI things and people are getting AI psychosis and they're out there killing themselves and all this other stuff's going on. It's like people, They don't want this. They want to go back to like real reality and real things that are tangible.
So Chat GPT told me to start a cult this morning. You're telling me I shouldn't do that?
Probably not.
Okay. But I can meet people in the real
Unless
world.
it's a cult where you worship me, then that's fine. No, sorry.
You can give people ideas.
It's
All
called
right.
marriage. Anyway.
Are we going to wrap this up?
Yes.
All right. There we go, guys. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.